Today we're making a life-size snowman that glows with LED lights. This snowman is almost 7 feet tall and is the perfect addition to any Christmas or holiday decorations. So join me for this super simple tutorial. To begin making our glowing snowman, we need beach balls. Now, once this prop is done, it'll be a little over 7 feet tall. So if you want a shorter snowman, you need to use smaller beach balls. But for this project here, we're using 3 different sizes: 42 inches, 36 inches, and 24 inches. As always, all the materials, everything that I use, I link it in the description of the video, so you can just go there, click it, and it'll take you right to the place where I bought it. Next, we need to fill up these beach balls. You can use an air pump. I have an electric air pump that I'm using, or you could just do it the old-fashioned way of blowing the beach balls yourself. So now that we've got our beach balls blown up, we need to surround it with expanding foam. We're using Great Stuff expanding foam, big gaps and cracks, because it expands the most. And what we're going to do is we're going to start surrounding it with expanding foam, perhaps in a spiral motion to begin, and then maybe an up and down motion to start covering it. Because we need to let the expanding foam dry, we're going to be doing this in halves. So we're going to do the top half section with expanding foam, let it dry, and once it dries, we can flip it over and finish it off. One important thing, that these beach balls are only to give us the form. So once the expanding foam has hardened, we can let the air out and actually take the beach ball out of it, because we only care about having that nice foam, encapsulation that we need. So you can reuse these beach balls after, or you can do what I did last time, which is just stab them and let the air out. But let's get to it. It's super fun. Make sure you're in a place that you don't mind if some expanding foam falls. You don't want to get it on you or on any surfaces. Let's get to it. Before we continue with this tutorial, I wanted to show you all the first book that I've written. It's called Little Olive and the Woolly Bat, and it's rated for kids ages 2 to 6 years old. It follows a brave little olive that gets lost and is found by a very helpful brown bat. This is the first book I've ever written, and I'm super excited about it. It's available on Amazon via paperback or Kindle. So if anyone wants to support me or read it to their kiddos, go check it out. The link is in the bio of the video, Little Olive and the Woolly Bat on Amazon. Now let's get back to this amazing tutorial. Before we begin, make sure the air valve is on the bottom of all 3 balls. We're going to put the air valve facing down. The reason is that we don't want expanding foam to cover it, so if you want to reuse them or remove the beach ball, it's very easy to pop it open and then take it out. So let's start with our expanding foam. We're going to start in a circular motion first, and then at some point we're just going to start going up and down. I'm using a bucket that I have right here to hold it in place. And just like that, circular motion. We're going to start going up and down. Just like this. Now that it's dry, we can continue with the second half. But we're not going to cover the entire ball again. We're probably just going to come up to here, so that when we start stacking the balls, they'll be able to nicely fit on top instead of 2 exact balls on top, because then you'll have a really tight point right over there. So you want it to be like all the way up to here. So let's do it like this. And we'll keep on doing the entire beach ball. So then at the top, we'll make a thicker ring, just like this. And we're doing that. Let me show you a little bit better. We're doing that so that when this dries, we can turn it around and put it on the secondary beach ball. We can get rid of this beach ball in here, deflate it, stab it, whatever, you can get rid of it, and then we have our little foam ball. So let's let this dry and let's continue. Before we finish applying expanding foam to all the beach balls, I wanted to show you how they look like finished so that you can decide whether you want to do it the same way. So this is the base, this is the biggest beach ball. There's an opening on the bottom. You could fill it in with expanding foam if you wanted to, but I think that a snowman is not perfectly round, so then this allows for it to be steady on the ground like that. It gives you a little bit more stability. So this is the bottom. We're going to take out the beach ball, and then over here I made a little bit of a shelf. I just added extra expanding foam on top, so when the middle ball goes in, it has something steady to grab onto. We're going to be using expanding foam as well to glue them together, so I thought that would just give it a nice place to rest. So this is the middle part. This is the middle ball. Both sides aren't filled in completely. Again, this is just the way I'm doing it. You can fill it in completely. It's perfectly fine. Last year, I filled them in completely. I filled in this side as well, and it was perfectly fine. I'm just trying something different this year where I'm not filling them up completely to see if it makes a difference, if it's easier to attach. I think by doing it this way, it'll be a little bit easier to attach when we put all the snowballs together. So it's totally up to you. I put a little bit more on the bottom over here so it has a place to rest. We have the head again. Left the bottom open so that it could attach to the secondary ball. So let's remove the beach balls and let's continue with this project. So once all the balls are completely dry, we're ready to glue them together. So I'm going to be using expanding foam again right over here so that I can put this one right on top and then do the same thing to the other one. We're just going to be using the same thing as an adhesive. So let's go. It should be dry in a couple of hours. As a quick reminder, we're going to be using window and door expanding foam because this one doesn't expand as much as the big gap and cracks one that we used for the entire snowman. So this is only going to be used to stick all the balls together, and let's get to it. Make sure that you adjust it to the position that you want it to be in. Once you have it adjusted in the position you want, we're going to put some more expanding foam right where the two balls meet. Our next step is to wrap it with LED lights. Now this part is completely optional, but I think it's going to look really nice once we turn on the LED lights. So these lights are about 160 feet long. It has 500 LED lights. They don't emit heat, so you don't have to worry about it melting or anything like that. So we're going to just wrap it around and around and around. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. If it starts slipping, I have some clear duct tape that we're going to use on the back just to hold it in place. Got it? We're just going to do that because if they ever go out, you want to be able to remove it and change them out. This should last you for years, so there should be no issue with this going out within the first season. But just in case it ever does go out, it'll be easier to take off. Or the other way you could have done it is to, while it's wet, start wrapping it with the LED lights. But they would be stuck in the foam, and if it ever went out, you would have to throw everything away. So this way, I think, is the best way. So we're just going to start wrapping it, and let's see how it turns out. Now that we're done wrapping it with LED lights, we need to apply a snow blanket. Now this is buffalo snow, and I buy these at Walmart. I'm not sure how many bags I'll need, but each bag is 24 ounces. So by the end of this, I'll have an estimation on how many bags one should buy. To hold it in place, we're going to be using these landscape pins. Now, everything I use on all my tutorials, I link them in the description of the video. So if you want to know where to find them, just go to the description and it's right in there. So these landscape pins, we're going to attach it into the foam every time we want to hold the fake snow blanket in place. So let's get started. For the scarf, I just used a regular size scarf, but because he's so big, he doesn't tie the conventional way. So we're simply going to put it like this, and I'm going to attach a pin right over here to hold it in place, and I think it looks really nice like that. For the hat, we just attached it with hot glue. It stays right in there. You could also use expanding foam, but it sits nicely just like that. And remember, we simply made a hole for the carrot into the foam. Then we pushed it in with some hot glue and we attached the nose. And that's how we put all the accessories on there. For the arms of the snowman, I'm actually going to be using a real branch. So get yourself 2 small branches, they can even be small twigs, and then let's get some black electrical tape. We're going to wrap the entire branch with black electrical tape, and it's super simple. We start at the base in an angle, and then we start wrapping the entire branch. And this should take you no more than a few minutes to get it wrapped up. And we're going to keep on doing that until we cover it completely. And it'll give it that nice glossy black look. And it'll be really cool. So let's do that to 2 branches for its arms. Once we're done with our branches, we're going to make a hole on the right and left side. Right over here, I think you can see I made a hole in here so that it goes through the expanding foam. And then we can get our branch and we can just push it inside just like this. And it'll stay just like that. So do it to both sides and we are completely finished. To hold up the snowman, I simply put rebar. This is 2-foot rebar into the ground. Right here, I put a total of 4 and it just holds the entire snowman up. And to cover them, you could easily just push the snow blanket over it or spray paint the rebar white so it blends in nicer. So we have 4 total and it just holds the base really nicely just like that.